Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Amina Margot.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Good evening and welcome to the Vic Akers Wonderland podcast. We are back for episode 8 after a 4-0 humbling to Reading in the WSL and another massive 3 points. It was cold, it was wet, but I managed to find a seat in the West Stand, so I was nice and dry. I'm definitely sure that Matt and Adam were as well, because sounds of it, Adam found a seat. Matt was safely at home or at work somewhere. But how are you boys? You good?
Yeah, quite good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, got back safe. It was a bit wet and wild on the way home, but yeah, got back from the ground in one piece, thankfully. Yeah, just sort of enjoying the ball out from another 3 points. It's been a while since we've been rocking up 3 points in the WSL, and now they're just the goals are flowing, the points are flowing. It's like it's like how it was at the beginning of the season before it all went a bit Pete Tong. So yeah, very much enjoying it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Second win of the season. Me being unfortunate, I was late to the game. So I completely missed the first goal. I was in the car park. I was down by the South Stand. All I hear is the ground erupts, and I'm like,
yeah,
Shintucky mushrooms. What have I missed? So yeah. How did this penalty come across, Matt?
So Caitlin Ford had the ball. She was running towards the box, and from the TV angle, it was a bit of a soft one where one of the Reading players, can't remember at the moment who that player was, but she just had a foot dangling, and Caitlin's gone down on the floor. It was a bit of a, if you look back at the replays, I think you'd probably say it's a bit of a soft one, but at the end of the day, it was given. And it's quite funny, whenever we do have penalties, I always know Kim Little's going to put it away and she's going to put it in the bottom corner. And fair play to her, because it was, it's always great to see that, even though I think it's Grace Maloney that had a hand on it, but she didn't have enough on it to put it past her. Was Kim put a lot of power onto that, put it right in the bottom corner to give us that 1-0 lead.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Adam might be frozen, so I'm going to continue talking. I mean, obviously you just can rely on Kim to get the penalty done. I mean, I think the worst penalty I've had to sit for is probably the Conti Cup final one. You know it's going to go in, but it's a case of, is it going to get past Berger, which it did at the time. I think Adam's back with us. Adam, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Just like last week, the hotel Wi-Fi decided to go on a reboot. But I'm back with all of you now. I was just going to say on the goal, just a slight, it was McCabe who got her legs clipped. When we say clip, replays are slightly inconclusive as to how it happened. But it was interesting because the team sheet had Ford and McCabe on opposite wings. But the team sheet actually threw us quite a loop, because there was a lot of square pegs in round holes. We had Leonson Mornham as a striker. We had Maritz as a left back, and we had Leah Williamson as a barnstorming attacking midfielder.
These things I love to see. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I haven't seen anything on Steph Catley at the moment, because the last time I saw her, she was in a booth and on crutches. Has anybody heard anything about her?
For what I heard,
so I don't think the club has said anything.
No, the whispers I heard was that it was an injury sort of between the cup final and the Liverpool game, so maybe a training injury or something. But yeah, she's been in the boot. I think she is still in the boot at the moment. Obviously, wish her a speedy recovery. But what's fascinating is how okay, it's Reading. Okay, we should make it clear. You know, it is Reading, and no offence to Reading, but you know they are the lowest block of the low. They're not going to come at us. how we've been able to sort of cope with that, shall we say? You know, and Moritz was at left back, and we didn't think because before we've had McCabe at left back, maybe filling in. But it was a very interesting lineup, and from the off, it was like we were on just out of the blocks fast, attacking them. You think back to some of the previous games, sort of just post Christmas, we were a bit slow and tepid, but no, we were rapid and got the penalty, got up and running. The Kim penalty, obviously, the previous the away game, we had one where she got it a bit too close to, I think it was Burns who was in goal in that time, and she made a great save, I guess, the right way. This time when against Chelsea, she actually got it in the side netting. This was actually quite away from it. I mean, Grace Maloney gets a hand to it and will probably think she should have tipped it wide. I mean, thankfully, had enough power just to snake in. So we did get quite lucky with that one. And then after that, the only crime was that we just didn't score more. We'd watched the in the pub, the Good Companion, the rest of the Arsenal fans. We watched the Fulham game, and again, first half at the men's game, it was 3-0 at half time, but it should have been 5-0 or 6-0. I think were you there for that one, Lottie, as well? Were you did you get to the Fulham game, or were you watching in the pub?
I was watching it in the pub. That's partly why I was a bit late.
Right.
I knew if there's an away game, I'm usually watch it somewhere around the ground. I've got my own lucky table.
Yeah.
Never lost a game at it yet, apart from Spurs last season. But that was when we went a bit belly up. But other than that, I haven't lost since. So go in my table, sit there, watch the game, and then obviously we made a move up to Meadow Park. I think note to self, next time I will buy food when I get up there. I will not eat before I go travel. That was what the delay was.
Yeah, well, I was only walking from the corner, but I did pick up my food en route. Like I said, the McDonald's is obviously usually the place of choice for most people in the going to Bournemouth.
Yeah, no, it's quick and it's easy, especially if you don't want to jump in them queries. As nice as the food is in the ground, queues are a killer unless you're there really early.
Yeah. I mean, I was very grateful the other night when you were able to get my burger in.
Yeah, I was in the queue. I was in the queue with Miles and his dad. All of a sudden, Adam rocks up. I went, "What do you do?" I said, "Hello, stranger." I was shoes on the other foot because he did the same for me. Because I kind of jumped in the queue with you last time. So
exactly. But that
was useful.
As for the game, beyond the catering, as for the game itself, yes, it was some really good attacking football. I know, and it's something we struggled with. And it looks like the Conti Cup has. I mean, I've spoken ages about, it's like the Rubik's Cube fighting back. We're trying to get this puzzle right. It looks like we're beyond the crest, and now we've got the flow going, and it's now just about being ruthless. I mean, we left a lot of chances on the. I mean, Kim I think missed one. I think Johnson Mornham had one, which got flagged for offside. McCabe had one that was saved, but it was just wave after wave of attack. I mean, Reading, they are not bad. I mean, they are the only team, obviously, that are not back left and not backed by a Premier League side now in the league. But they are usually quite stubborn. I mean, they only lost to the one goal against us in the reverse fixture. They got 2 against Chelsea. They only lost 3-2. So they are tight. So the fact that firstly, seemed to have no threat at all. And the fact that just the waves and waves of attack were just so constant was really promising. And thankfully, we got that second goal just before half time, which I thought was a bit of brilliant.
It was a brilliant tap in by Frida Mornham. Some
venom. It was absolutely smashed into the roof of the net. But I want to just have a shout out to Ford because she was in front of us when she took the way she. Yeah. I talked in the Conti Cup final how she was rolling defenders. She was pinning them, backing into them, and then spinning and going. And she did that against Reading. She got the ball on the half term and pinged it behind and clean through. Great cross across, great smashing. There is a debate over offside. I've not seen replays and lines to confirm
if I'm honest with you, it didn't look offside to me. But then my offsides are pretty dodgy judgment calls, so I wouldn't take my word for it. Matt, did that goal look offside to you at all?
I don't think it did, if I'm honest. I mean, even if it was, it'd be like centimetres. And honestly, I'd rather not be talking about lines at this point in time because it's a lot better to just enjoy it in the moment.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't help when Stina's got making her runs like 2 weeks ago, and every 5 minutes she's called offside. When you look at her and you go, no, she's not offside this time.
No.
After 5 minutes she was. 2 minutes ago she wasn't.
No, I just know that there was some debate in the airways that there was potential. But I mean, Arsenal fully deserved the 2-0 lead, and it should have been, and it should be more. And it was a really good attacking half of football, which bodes well for the rest of the season. It looks like I was a bit ambivalent. I prefer having my Ford on my left and my McCabe on the right. It was interesting that they reversed it, but thankfully it didn't affect the team at all, and they got us on the run. And yeah, it was a good atmosphere in the stands, certainly. It was a bit of a party atmosphere. Obviously, we knew Man United had dropped points early in the day, so it was a chance to get closer to the top four. And yeah, good first half.
Yeah, I mean, there's 5 points in it now, and we've still got what, 6 weeks now? Maybe
Got a game.
We've got
a game in hand at Brighton, which if we win, will be level with Man City and Man United.
And we're above both of them on goal difference as well. And just on that with Man City.
So if we beat Brighton, we go straight into second place.
Just on Man City as well.
That would be beautiful. I've just had to skim through the fixtures. We haven't actually been rescheduled yet. But Everton and Brighton have been scheduled for match day 10.
Right.
So for the 19th of April, looking at this.
We're still waiting to find out what happens with the Champions League as well, because that means a lot of our stuff's going to be arranged. On top of that as well, Man City playing Brighton, they were lucky to actually get those 3 points. It took the 88th minute for Bunny Shaw to basically have a shot within the 6-yard box when the ball was bumbling around the area.
Yeah.
Had Brighton stayed up, that would have been, got that point. That would have just helped them quite a lot with a relegation battle, and they got very, very unlucky with that.
We were following that in the pub, and we were like, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes. We were like, oh, come on, Brighton, hang on in there. But there's always a sense of inevitability. It's a bit like Haaland with Manchester United. Shaw is just on that level of form.
Haaland for Man United? Hang on a minute.
Man City, sorry. Mancunian slip there. Haaland for Man City and Shaw for Man City. It's just that level of there is an inevitability about it, because Shaw has just been so on form this season, a bit like how Viv used to be for us.
But I think 5 goals, the most ever a Man City player has scored in the WSL. The biggest was Nikita Paris with 22. So.
But it's also interesting that there was an element of sort of over-reliance on Shaw, which for me, I don't like. And it's nothing personal, but from a tactical perspective, I don't like teams relying on a sole player, because for me that gives you a single point of failure. Because the moment that player fails, or gets injured, the entire team is compromised. And we've been there. We've been there this season with Miedema. I mean, we had a twin point of failure, but you look at Chelsea at the moment, they're basically relying on Sam Kerr to get the goals. It's just basically.
Yeah, but I do feel if Sam Kerr does goes to America or goes back to Australia, what are they going to do?
Well, she actually said she's going to commit a future at Chelsea, unfortunately.
I know this. I know that, but it's a case of in theory sort of thing.
Yeah. They are in major.
Did their ACL in or something like that.
Yeah, they are in trouble because they don't have a striker. They've got rid of Beth England. Hard she's looking at the way out, and they're compromised. I mean,
their defence is a bit wobbly as it is at the moment.
Funny enough, they're looking to bring in the Canadian right back Alana Kennedy, who's currently going to be a free. She's not signed another contract with PSG in the summer.
Alana Kennedy or Ashley Lawrence?
Not Alana Kennedy. She plays for Man City.
I was
the Canadian that plays for PSG at right back. I can't remember her name.
Right.
I can't remember her name now. It's gone. She was in who was she in relation? Was it Alphonso Davies?
Oh, the male back. That's the male player. Anyway, Chelsea are looking to sign a player from PSG who's Canadian, who's a right back. Yeah. We're gonna leave it at that. And yes, rather than get a striker in.
Got about 4 right backs, and they brought all of them on it during the Conti Cup final.
None of it worked.
None of it worked. It was bad. It was bad, and we should have had Buchanan should have given us a penalty, but hey ho, we still won that. It doesn't matter. Right. But I'm just having a look at the relegation battle at the moment, and literally between 9th and 12th, there's literally 4 points in it. point for each gap, and it's going to be a tight one. But at the moment, it's between Brighton and Leicester.
I think Spurs are floating because Leicester have got Spurs coming up soon. I think that is.
Yes, that is Wednesday night for this rescheduled fixture for Wednesday night.
I do imagine that if anyone was going to go down, I did predict Reading too, just because they're not going to be able to cope sooner or later. They're just going to end up going down.
Yeah.
They're survivors. They always survive. They got this. And at some point, like Birmingham, the inevitable will claim them, unfortunately, and they'll be ashamed because I like Reading. Just like an idea of the underdog as the championship team going to get to the rest. But I mean, yeah, as long as there are teams like Leicester and the league who just cannot buy wins, Reading will stay up. While there's only one relegation slot, they will stay up. But Spurs, they've lost 9 in a row. Skinner's gone. They're out of manager. And it's criminal considering the fact they've got the likes of, was it Drew Spence, Beth England, Manu Ibuchi, the level of talent they have in that team. They should not.
No, they shouldn't be losing. They should not be losing, full stop. They should at least be drawing, minimum.
No.
And something obviously wasn't working. And
so
yeah, do you know what? I'd love to see them relegated. I just love it. Because it's me.
Well, I was actually tweeting about this, I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. The thing is, the Spurs women's team are Spurs only in name. There's nothing there. They're not like the Spurs men's team. There's no needle. There's no edge. They're just a team that wears the cock and ball on their shirt. They're not. That's what it is. It's a cockerel on the.
Yeah, I know. But it sounded like something else.
But I know that's just me being mocking and rude and immature. But and
that is why I'm laughing.
No, but they are not like the Spurs team because we played them at the Emirates Stadium, and as much as we want to say let's lay into Spurs and stuff, but just it's like that meme of I think it's like Tom and Jerry when Tom was poking Jerry with a sword. And Jerry just looks fed up because there's nothing. There's no anger. There's no to and fro. It's just usually, certainly in the home games, it's just one way traffic. You just rock up 3 goals, 4 goals, and they're just no different from a Reading or a Leicester.
You perfectly summed up their situation, Adam.
Yeah.
I actually saw them a little bit on the FA Player in that game against Liverpool. And they just looked deflated. Managing wasn't even smiling. Beth England just looked a little bit lost. And you would have thought, she's got an England place to play for. That's what she's playing for. You've got Mana, who's going to be at a World Cup. She's just there to get the minutes up. And I think at the moment you're looking at all round, even Rebecca Spencer, that plays for Jamaica. So it's not like they've not got a bad team. They've got a team there that got some international experience as well. They just can't seem to do it for whatever reason. But then I go back to those things like Leicester could have quite easily gone in for Beth England and gone, hey ho, let's try and buy a striker. She'll get us the goals. We've got Ruby Mason as well. Funnily enough, there's a load of stats going around that Ruby Mason is the best interceptor and passer of the ball since she's come in January for Leicester and in the league as well. So it's Leicester are playing the market smartly, and maybe Tottenham have been playing it almost. I'm trying to think of the words.
They're just not playing
almost as smart, but not as quite as smart as Villa played it.
Or almost like a deadline, every day's deadline, and then just try to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I think the last win they got, that 8-0 thrashing, or was it 7 or 8-0 thrashing of Brighton, which got Hope Power sacked. I mean, I swear that they won that game, and then they've offered absolutely nothing since. For me, I've said, well, they're just a hollow shell.
They managed to pull a draw off, not this weekend, just gone, like the last match week 14.
Okay.
They managed to pull off a draw, so that is something, I guess.
I want Spurs. Obviously, I hate Spurs, but at the same time, I wanted them when they came up. I thought, great, we could get some proper North London derby action, animosity, and the problem is there's just no ambition. It's like how much do Spurs want to get this team? I mean, and I say this with a really sort of great team. Look at Man United. Look at what they're doing this season. They came up the same season as Spurs. Okay, and again through gritted teeth. Facts, bias aside, Spurs and Man United are big name clubs. We're happy meeting them. They are clubs of they are clubs of notoriety, shall we say, in the Premier League. Certainly when we compare them to teams, let's say Reading, who are in the Championship, and Brighton, who are sort of the plucky underdogs going through. Spurs and Man United, they've got big stadiums, they've got big brands, they've got big followings. Man United, fair play, they are pushed. They've been pushing at fourth place, trying to get into third the moment they came in through the front door. And Spurs just sort of, they've got in and they've gone, oh, we've made it to the WSL. We'll just cruise here and just think, where is your ambition? What is your plan? I mean, I suppose if you look at the men's team, you realise there is no plan.
Do you know what? The more you talk about this, the more I've got to agree. I don't think there is a plan. I think the plan is just to stay up in the WSL.
Yeah.
And develop their women's team. I mean, you can say that about Reading as well. Yeah. Although they haven't got the backing of a Premier League club like everybody else. I think the most surprised I'm at this season is Liverpool. They've done really well. They've only got 14 points, but their goal difference is only -11. They've done really well for their first season.
They're the only team to beat Chelsea in the league this season. Fair play to them. And Matt Beard is a very canny manager. He's won league titles with Liverpool. He knows this league is a proper WSL manager.
The thing is,
remember, a lot of his signings have been, let's get the band back together. Gilly Flaherty, Gemma Bonner as well. It's not like he's bringing in new blood. He's bringing in old blood that know the league.
Yeah, and players that he can trust as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I know Liverpool should be pushing higher for the R, but obviously I give them sort of a pass because they've only just come up. So you want to get your feet under the table, get yourself locked in. Look at Villa, another one. They came in, just stayed up, got themselves settled, and now they have kicked on another gear. They've got Jordan Nobbs, playing in. They've got Rachel Daly. They played two amazing games against Man City. Took 4 points off Man City home and away. They have kicked on, and they're the team below us. I mean, you could look at the.
They're what, 6 points below us?
Yeah, we've got.
They're doing really well.
They have, and this is why you look at our Conti Cup run to get to win it. We had to beat the team that was fifth and the team that was third, and then the team that was we had to beat probably. And the only reason we didn't get Man United is because they had lost on penalties to Durham in the group.
They lost too many penalties. That's what happened. They lost.
Yeah. They lost 2 shootouts, I think.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, you were saying about Reading. Reading? Yeah, plucky team trying to stay up. Spurs shouldn't be like that. Spurs should be doing what Villa are doing. Spurs should be doing what Man United are doing, and we need more teams to challenge the higher order, to drag the likes of Chelsea back towards us. Because rather than just going low block, tame surrender. I mean, Manchester United didn't relay much of a glove. I know Skinner was moaning about some penalty shouts, but I was watching the game in the pub, and it was an absolute snooze fest. We were grateful when the Fulham Arsenal game came on because we could flip that onto the secondary screen and concentrate on some proper football. Just nothing happened. Kerr got a great pass on James, great goal by Sam Kerr. I mean, I'll never forgive Man United anyway for the way they bottled it last season from winning half. But
so, do you think they got a bit of the old PTSD, as Matt mentioned in the last episode from last season?
Maybe that's what happened. But I'm glad that Chelsea, because obviously Man United have been giving it big because they're top of the league and think they're going to get a title. And fair play to Man United to be top of the league at this point of the season. Obviously, for a team that's never challenged a title. Fair play to them. I mean, they did something similar, I think, when Casey Stoney came on and it was the lockdown season and they had Heath and Press in their team. Fair play to them. They're having a great season, massive respect. But this is sort of now Chelsea, they know what to do in this situation. It is muscle memory for them and they know how to grind out a 1-0 win, take the lead. Apart from when they play in Conti Cup finals against us.
And when they bottled the final, did you say? Sorry. The internet went there.
Yeah. And then, and I say obviously back to us. We're pushing back. I mean, again, second half, 2 more goals, an own goal. We didn't realize it was an own goal at the time, but it was an own goal from one of our former players, good old Emma, whose surname I've forgotten once again, so I'm going to have to read it because it's
McCandy. It's no longer Mitchell, it's McCandy.
He's the player formerly known as Mitchell. Yes, Emma Mukandi. We thought it was a goal, just a goal from.
Yeah, no. We were discussing just off air. Like everyone keeps referring to her as Emma Mitchell. Still, I've got to give credit to WSL, Sky Sports team. They are using her correct name. It's not Mitchell. It's Mukandi all over their app. So.
Speaking of
their app turned around and said, "Oh, it's Mitchell, not McCundy." So I was the one that picked that one up.
Yeah. No, I know. I think I saw that, and it's also a bit like there was an attendance stat account, and I was talking about Meadow Lane. I was like, Meadow Lane? What is Meadow Lane? Are you talking about Meadow Park?
Meadow Lane apparently
Because it said Arsenal Meadow Lane, and I was like, what is this? What is this nonsense?
Moves
Like,
should also say with names, the announcer, they're trying to obviously get Frida's name correctly. She's now known as Frida L. Mornham.
no, I don't like that. I can't remember who the commentator is, but he started pronouncing her name.
Michael McCann, yes.
Yes, that's it. I never remember his name, but I do love his commentary. I think he's really good.
Craig, not Greg. Craig.
Yeah, it's the Arsenal, and we should all say it. That's it's like
exactly. El Mornham, and I was sitting there like, no, it's Leonard Hudson. I still can't pronounce it. I will get there eventually. But
we don't say Matt L. Roberts, do we? We say Matt Leonardson Roberts. That's that's his name.
Yeah,
and that's
I think you got my middle name there. I think you put a T there. What should
That's what we should call it now. Matt Leonardson Roberts. That's what we should call it now. Then of course, one of our own got the fourth, and that was the sort of the icing on the cake, which I think you had a very good view for.
I had a perfect view for that one. I really did enjoy that. Like I enjoyed Frida's goal when she fell into the net up at the North Bank.
Very funny.
So that is one of and the photographer, match photographer pressed that at the right time. It's such a fun picture. She just looks like she's really enjoying herself. But yeah, no, Leah's goal. It went in so quickly. I was like, what? But
I'm glad she got it, because obviously she had one unluckily chalked off, and she did a great celebration in the goal mouth.
Yeah.
And it was like it rather ruined it, the fact it got chalked off. But no, I mean it's the first goal for my.
It was a nice cold celebration. It wasn't a happy one. It was like, yeah, look at me, who am I, sort of thing. And I really did like that one. But then you pointed out the offside flags that one. I went, oh.
Well,
thing. And I got really annoyed with the linesman, and then we sort of started winding the linesman up, didn't we, Adam?
Get the lines out, and again it was a great, because Palova did some great work on the wing, and to get the chance, and then the subs came on. I thought, Stina looked sharp, didn't get the goal, but obviously was part of Leah's goal, and on that day, she got another run through, great save by the keeper. And another one when she rounded the keeper and wasn't far away. It was a tight angle, but I thought, it was a bit. It
was very, very tight, and it just missed, and it was just like, oh my god, you're so close.
Before the Gio had an attempt. She went to go and chip the goalkeeper, and unfortunately, it was a bit too high. But some of the comments online were ridiculous. It was just like, no, come on, you got to support the girls. It doesn't matter if it goes over by an inch or over by a mile. It just support the team. It doesn't matter about whether or not she's missed an opportunity or not. She's still settling.
100%.
The thing is, she hasn't got that many minutes under her belt, and what I did see of her on from the West Stand, she was sharp. She looked good, although she did get a little bit bullied by one of the Reading girls. She's really tall, blonde. Can't remember. Probably can't pronounce her name. I can't remember her name, but. She got pulled, her shirt pulled, she got her hair pulled, and it was just like, I was happy when I saw that person come off the pitch.
Yeah.
I know it, with football, it's close contact and everything else, but that was a bit extreme, and to get away with that, the line and not do anything.
I think, I mean, that is going to be what Reading is, because they are obviously a very defensive team. They're going to outmuscle. They're going to put you off, because they are fighting again for survival, and if it can't beat you with obviously the goals. I mean, they had one chance that hit the crossbar. I thought very good chance, a very good run, 1-2. I thought it was a very fine effort. Sort of came out of nowhere, but that's just that is the way that they're going to have to play, and it works. They stay up every season. You have to be strong and outmuscle, and Gio will just, like Saka over the men's team, Gio will just have to learn to have the strength to fend them off and stand her ground. And
100%, she'll need to do that. She'll also, I know this is going to be really harsh to say, but with the criticism online and everything, she'll have to grow slightly thicker skin, especially over here.
Yeah, and that's
It'll take time, but she will need to grow thicker skin and just prove people wrong.
I'll defend her to the end of the earth. She's a fantastic.
Oh, I know you would. I know you would. You've watched her at Everton. We know.
Yeah, she's got that Brazilian samba style, and when she presses, she's just on another level. I always go back
100%.
Game at Anfield, playing against Liverpool, pressing the last defender, wins the ball and sets it up for Jess Park to score an easy goal. And that's what you're getting if you can get her to that level at the moment. But it's about, I think a lot of these signings that we've had, it's about settling them in for the first 6 months and then seeing how we go. We've won the trophy as well, which helps a lot. And on top of that, as well, we're going to have Beth back in pre-season, and then on top of that, hopefully Taylor as well. And we'll also have Viv towards the end of the year. So that will also mean it'll be interesting to see how that all comes about and what will happen, because a lot of chopping and changing will be done, but it's all about how they all bond as a team. You can go back to Katrina and go to her interview, and she said she felt like she was part of a sisterhood when she was coming. So obviously she's talked to, I don't know if she's talked to Kim or she's talked to other players about it. Maybe she was talking to Simone Boy about what it was like at Oval before she joined. But this club is going somewhere, and the trust. There's obviously a trust now with Jonas. Hopefully, with the Connie Cup final as well, there's more faith in him, because a lot of people I was hearing, Jonas we don't want Jonas at the club anymore because he's not this, that's not that. No, I'm for that. Let's not start these in and outs before
we've even got started.
Yeah. Essentially, it is a rebuild, because you look at this club. You got Rafaela, who's in her 30s. You've got Jambiti, who we still don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season. You've also got Kim as well, and these are all players that you're probably not going to have either at the end of this season, or maybe in 3 or 4 years' time. So we're planning ahead, essentially.
I think you're absolutely right. Because I was thinking about this. This is what we got, because we've got the trophy, like the trophy. Between now and the end of the season, it's a great opportunity. And in fact, this is going to be quite controversial, and I might get slated for this, so I do apologise. Losing Mead and Miedemar, the two major stars of our team, losing them for injury could be a blessing in disguise, because what it's meant is that we can't just rely on them just to win matches, because Jonas wants to implement a style. But how many times winning the game is it to do with Jonas' style, or is it to do with Mead and Miedemar just getting the goals anyway? With so many teams in the WSL, you can just win without any style, just having quality on the pitch, and having tactics and a philosophy only really matters in the Champions League. Now, because we've lost Mead and Miedemar, it's all the more important that it's down to Jonas getting the style right and the team right. And it looks like he's doing that. So now, rather than it just being a case of Mead and Miedemar gets all the goals, I talked about earlier about points of failure. The fact that we've lost that is Jonas had to go, right, I've got to get this team right. And he's experimented with back three, that didn't work, back four, playing Mead on the right, playing Mornham at 10, trying to get Steven to work. And it looks like it's clicking. Now, what we now have is, up until May, almost, I don't want to say free hit, but we've got all that time we can develop the team for the next season. And then when Mead and Miedemar come in, they improve the team further, rather than them being the team. You think about the last few days of Joan Montemurro, it's basically give it to Viv, she'll get the goals, and we'll get into Champions League. That's what it came down to. We know now more than likely that we won't win the league, but we've got a good chance to get into the top three. So if we use the time available to us now to bleed in the likes of Gio, bleed in the likes of Palova, bleed in the likes of Katrina, and just develop the team, sans Mead and Miedemar, between now and the end of the season, we'll get a few rocky results. There'll be things that will work, things that won't. But I think this is going to be a development period, and then next season we go again. And I think this is, and with Miedemar attack, so I think it's promising. And I mean, it's obviously easy with a trophy in the back. Everything looks much rosier because we've actually won something. So we'll see how this one pans out. We've got momentum now, which we didn't have since Christmas. We got momentum. We got players coming in looking excited. I thought there was a brilliant bit of skill from Molakul on the halfway line. Was desperately lucky with that pass through to Stina. If Stina got that, everyone would have over Molakul with moving in the midfield. She looks like a Kim Little heir apparent, which is promising because by Jove, and yeah, Palova's looked good on the wing. And yeah, hopefully Gio very raw. I think it should take a bit longer. But we also saw last season when the winter signings came in. Raffaelli came in the winter. Stina came in the winter. Veenroger came in the winter. Look at Veenroger now. She's like our first choice right back now. She's bled in. And I remember seeing her against Birmingham, and I thought the home game. I thought she looks well short. She was responsible for us chucking 2 goals. But now she actually we almost drew that game, which was It was a bonkers game. It was awful.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit almost traumatic, but not quite.
It was almost another trauma to add to the very large question. But we've got to fill that one. But since the Euro, she's been great. Raffaelli, when she's not injured, she's great. Stina looks like she might be starting to become great. So yeah, signings take time. Ford, another example, one who looks like she's now kicking in. So yeah, just have a
Ford has been phenomenal since the cup final. She's been a joy to watch. I know she hasn't had any. She had any goals? No.
She had the goal against Liverpool, the header.
Yeah. Yes, she had a header against Liverpool.
I think she scored home and away. Did she score home and away against Liverpool? Because I think she scored at Liverpool as well. Her and
Leah and was it Kim who scored the other one?
I think it might have been Kim. I'm not sure.
No, it wasn't Kim.
She scored against Liverpool at home, and she scored in the Champions League as well. She's always seems to be a second half of the season player because last season she really kicked on post Christmas, and she's done it again. So yeah, just got to keep this up and just see how high we finish.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, like looking at the table now, if in theory we win against Brighton, there's 2 points in it between 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and that top spot.
I think Chelsea in hand as well. Let me get the WSL. So
we've all got to play at the end of that. So essentially, you're expecting everyone to drop points against each other. I think the main one I look at the moment is City. I'd probably say, even though Man City fans hate their manager, he's doing a good job of what he's doing, which is very bizarre because they hate their manager and they want him gone.
I think it's down to Shaw's goals. I think like with Jonas and Viv, I think Shaw's goals are keeping him afloat.
But if you look at that front three has the same effect, personally, of a Mead, a Ford, and a Mead, Mara, or a Stina. Essentially, that's what you have with City, and you know what you're getting with that front three of Kelly, Hemp, and Shaw up top. But it's a bit bizarre that Hemp and Kelly aren't scoring as many goals. You'd expect them to be in digits, and I think they're only
didn't they?
It's so bizarre, but I'm hoping that they pull something off against Chelsea because they're a good side, and if I had to pick someone to play Chelsea to the title other than us, I would go with City because they're a better side than.
Yes, but we also.
Do you know what? I would purely give it to City on the basis that their fans are more tolerable than the other two teams. If anybody but us was going to win it, I'm sorry, but I know in terms of football as well, Matt has a very good point.
Also, but I look at the mathematics and just think if we're going to get in top 2, we just need both Manchester clubs to drop points. So I'm afraid I feel dirty. I need Emma Hayes to like get points off, but to do us a favour to get us in the back door. I know it's like doing a deal with the devil. It's awful.
That is doing a deal with the devil.
It's absolutely awful. The maths, because if Man City win points, they are moving ahead with us. So if we want to leapfrog Man City, we need them to drop points.
Yeah,
so that heads up to
can they not both lose?
Can they just both lose? Or just draw? If Man City, Man United, and Chelsea draw, well, obviously not Man United. They've lost both their games to Chelsea. But if Man City and Chelsea could draw, if Man United and Man City could draw, that would be great. And then we just got to go and beat Man City at home and beat Man United at these sports and beat Chelsea.
We've also got to go back to Kings Meadow again, haven't we? As well. So and that game will mean even more to us.
They might look at moving it to.
I've heard whispers about the bridge.
There's a potential that it might, but it's a 50-50 at the moment. I'll go.
Well, do you know what? I wouldn't.
Not happening.
Okay.
Chelsea won't do it because it will give them a disadvantage. They're too competitive to put a big game at Stamford Bridge. They've only played like Spurs there because they know it's a bank over 3 points. You know, we put our big games up at the Emirates, Man City aside, but no, Chelsea won't put a game of that.
The thing is, I think with Man City, I think it's just the unfortunate fixtures and the way the fixtures have landed. To be honest with you,
the only reason see it being at Stamford Bridge at the moment is because it's their chance to win the trophy in front of more fans.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be dirty if they beat us to win the title. I mean, we'll always have the Conti Cup, but you know, so
you're out to give me trauma, aren't you today?
Just imagine we go and beat them like.
Boys. I don't want to imagine that. No, please.
You don't want to imagine
please.
Us beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge to ruin.
Oh, that'd be glorious. Oh no! I'll take that one. I'm taking
Gio
that.
With a hat trick, Palova scores 4, and then Zinsberger scores a header in the last minute or something.
Millie Bright to get a red card. Was that? Sorry, did I hear that?
Matt, I'm all for fantasy, but you've gone into Manchester United levels of delusion there. I mean, sorry.
Delusion would be 10, and Sam Kerr.
I'm sorry, but I want Chelsea to get wiped to the face of the next person. But Manu coming up for a header. I mean, come on. I mean, there are some.
Yeah, no, we don't make mistakes like Martinez at Villa. We don't do that. We're not that silly.
The satisfaction of the ding of that ball hitting him back and net.
I know, right? I know, right?
That double gasp of oh no, oh yes.
And then it all goes back to the Arsene Wenger genius, so to speak.
Yeah,
so much satisfaction. Whenever you're sad, just sit back and watch that goal over and over.
Over and over. Exactly. So out of match week 15, boys, just to wrap up the show, what is your goal of the match week? I'm going to go with Rachel Daly's one where the West Ham's basically defenders parted ways like the Moses parted the river, and she just sent the ball straight in top bins. That's got to be the goal of the weekend for me. As much as I love the Arsenal goals, that and Rachel Daly is just something special for me. So, Adam?
Because I've only seen the Arsenal match, I'm going to go for Jota Mornem's tap in because of the brilliant turn and twist from forward. Twist and forward, and then the cross, and just the venom in which is absolutely pelted into the roof of the net, and getting caught up in the netting afterwards is always rather amusing. I know obviously Matt's going to do his goal, but I just wanted a quick shout just in case we don't have time. This time next week, if providing everything goes okay, me and Matt should be at the Allianz Arena for the Champions League.
Ooh, that's exciting.
That is something to very much look forward to. So fingers crossed all goes well and we end up there. So that's something to look forward to. So sorry, Matt, your goal.
I'm going to go for the one and only Jordan Nobbs. It was a lovely volley, and whenever you look at Jordan Nobbs and she scores a volley like that, it just reminds you of her Arsenal days. Even when I was there for a 50th against Everton, and then unfortunately she got injured in the next match, I always think of the.
Don't talk about that.
No, I just think back to our 50th goal, and that's a really special memory for me anyway, because it was so great to see that happen, and it was a great game altogether. I love Walton Hall Park anyway. It's a great stadium to go to.
Definitely. So that wraps up the show for today, boys. Thank you for joining me. We will be back next week. For what is the preview of the Champions League game.
Yes, there's no football, is there? Yeah, there's no WSL matches. And it's a bit of a kicker, really. So it is. But we're
the boys are heading out to Germany, which is very exciting for them. Really excited for Matt. It's his first away game with the Arsenal. But we will be back with an episode before the kickoff. So please make sure you tune in. And I'm going to wish you guys a good evening, and I'll talk to you all soon.